How proficient are you with Desmos regression analysis? Let's find out. We're given a table that shows three values of x and their corresponding values of g of x, where g of x is equal to this equation and f is a linear function, and that's an important piece of information. Then we're asked, what is the y-intercept of f of x? Now, this is a fun one because there are multiple ways to solve this. If your regression skills in Desmos are good, then Desmos is clearly where you want to go. So let's take a look at that first. But before we go to Desmos, let's take a look at this function. It gives us a g of x is equal to f of x divided by x plus 3. One easy way to rewrite this would be to multiply both sides of the equation by x plus 3, and then we'll get g of x times x plus 3. And I think that might help us out later. Now, one of the things we have to realize when we put this into Desmos is that we're not going to use these function values. We're going to use y of 1, f of x is going to be y of 2, be y of 2, and then for each of the x values we're going to have to put a subscript 1 in here because that syntax is needed by Desmos. So let's take a look. The first thing we're going to do is enter a table, and we're just going to put in the values as they're provided to us in the equation. Now, with our table completed, we're going to want to define our f of x value, and that's going to be y sub 2 is equal to sub 1, which is our g of x value, times x sub 1 plus 3. Now you notice there it calculates the three f of x values that we would get by entering the various x values from the table. Now the only other thing we need to do is enter our actual regression equation, which now is going to be y sub 2, which is f of x, and then we need to use the tilde or the squiggly line to indicate that we want a regression, and then we're simply going to enter m x1 plus b. And you'll notice when we do that, it gives us a b value of 36, and that is in fact the y-intercept of the line f of x. We can see that on the graph by simply touching or clicking on the y-intercept. So back over at our problem, clearly the answer here is letter A. Now, what if your regression skills fail you and you need to do this algebraically? It's really not terribly difficult. Let's rewrite our equation down here. What we're going to do is input values of x and determine what the f of x value would be. And I'm going to start with negative 9, 0, simply because zeros are easy to do math with. So in this case, we're going to take f of negative 9 is going to equal the g of x value, which is 0, times x plus 3. Obviously, the x value makes no difference here. When we're multiplying by 0, the output is going to be 0. So we end up with a point at negative 9, 0. I'm just going to pick a second point, and you could pick either one. I'm picking 21, 5. We know we're calculating for f of 21, which is going to be equal to our g of x value, which is 5, times our x value plus 3. When we do that math, we're going to end up, well, 21 was our input value, and 5 times 21 plus 3 is 120. Now all we need to do is calculate a slope, which we're going to do just by taking the difference in the y values divided by a difference in the x values. If I start here, that's 120 minus 0 over 21 minus a negative 9. That gives us 120 over 30, or a slope of 4. Now we're going to use the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. We're going to replace our m value with 4. And then we're simply going to select a point to substitute for the x and y. And again, I'm going to pick negative 9, 0 because zeros are easy to do math with. So I have 0 is equal to 4 times our x value, which is negative 9, plus b. 0 is equal to negative 36 plus b. And finally, we add 36 to both sides, and our y-intercept ends up at 36. So the algebraic approach to this isn't too bad, but clearly you want to develop your regression skills in Desmos because this one is kind of custom built to be answered very quickly in Desmos. All right, that's it for this one. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Keep practicing. I'll see you in the next one.